This video has been made possible by Rebus Farm, the professional render service. Well guys, I typically don't talk a lot about myself, but one thing I want you guys to know is that I'm a huge steampunk fan, alright? So the topic of our modeling tutorial today will be steampunk goggles, okay? It's going to be a two-part video. In part one we're going to do the modeling, and that said, let's jump in and have some fun. Here we go. Alright guys, let's get started. We're going to start with the frame for the to hold the glass, if you will. So for that, what we'll do is we will take a we'll take a Polygon Cylinder. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so Polygon Cylinder, what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control A for the attribute editor. We're going to go in and we're going to set caps to 0, and then let's see, we'll do 4 in height. Actually, I was trying to do 4 in subdivisions on height, so apologize. Something like that. We're going to right click and we're going to go to face. I'm going to turn off my soft select. There we go. So I'm going to delete that face, and then what we're going to do is we're going to right click and go to object mode. Come on, object mode, thank you. Yep, we're going to hit R to scale that down to about there, and then we're going to go in from this view and we're going to right click and go to vertex. We're going to drag select the top one there, and we're going to start to pull that in. Then we're going to drag select the second row, and we're going to start to shape that accordingly. Alright, which will give us something like this. Right click object mode. So if I hit E to rotate and hold down J to snap it, I will get this. Alright, so we got that. We are going to, because we don't have any real restrictions here as far as poly count is concerned, because this is not going to be a game model or anything. So we have some, some room there. We're going to hit 3 to do a preview smooth, and you can see that it's working nice, so that's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, let's see, we're going to hit Control E to extrude this. We'll do 0.05 on thickness, which is quite a lot, so let's do a bit less. 0.02 maybe. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And then we're going to right click at object mode. We're going to select it and go to mesh and smooth to actually smooth it. Okay. So that's our first part, all right? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take a Polygon Cylinder. We're going to hit W, we're going to move it back. We're going to hit E to rotate it. Hold down J to snap as we move forward. And we are going to go into our attribute editor. We're going to set caps to 0. We are going to right click, go to face, select that face and delete it. Select that face and delete it, and then we're going to right click at object mode. We're going to hit R to push this in until it's kind of a ring, if you will. Hit W, bring that in. Hit R, scale it down a little bit, and hit F to zoom in so you can see what's going on. Alright, so we're going to hit W and we're going to start to push that in there. We don't want it to cut into our geometry. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hit Control E to give that some thickness as well. We'll do 0.01, and then we're going to go into object mode, right click object, let's go to mesh and smooth, there we go. And actually let's do that one more time, that's a bit better. And like I said, we don't have any real restrictions, so we're going to make this look nice and clean. And we'll do the same here as well. Mesh and smooth. There we go. Okay. So we got this ring going on here. and we're going to hit R to scale that up a little bit. And the purpose of that is to create some shading when we are at that point. I'm going to pull it back a little bit because it looks like it's cutting into my geometry just a little. So that's all right. And then let me think, we are going to hit R to squish that in a little bit. Okay, and push it in. All right. So you're not going to notice it that much right now, but later on you will. Okay. Now we need to have a glass. All right. So for that, once again, we'll take one of these. We're going to hit W. We're going to move it back. Hit E to rotate. Hold down J to snap it. We're going to go high on the subdivision, 40, and then what we're going to do is we're going to let's see if that glass is flat. Yes, it is. So we're going to right click on the face, and we're going to select all of this stuff, and we're just going to keep that. We're going to right click on object mode, hit W and move that in. F to zoom in. Look at where we want our glass to be, which will be way up front here. Okay, and then we're going to hit R to scale that in, which is pushing back obviously, so we'll have to switch views, hit 4 for wireframe mode. That should be the right dimension, and then we're going to hit W and move it forward. And let's have a look. All right, now that's okay because this is going to be a glass material. What we can do just for modeling purposes is we'll just select this, assign new material, we'll do a blend, and we're just going to take the transparency. Okay, that way we know it's still there, but you know, we can look through it and so forth. Okay, cool. So now that we have all that, what we're going to do next is we're going to start to create a leather section, and we're going to do that by taking a let's take a Polygon Cylinder once again. Push that back, hit E to rotate, hold down J to snap, as before. We are going to set subdivision level to 30, and I will smooth this out later on. We're going to set caps to 0. We're going to right click on a face, delete that one, and delete that one. And then we're going to right click on object mode. We're going to W, we're going to move that in. And this is going to go on top, so we're going to hit R. And we do need to give this some thickness, but we'll do that in a sec. So first we need to make sure that it's sitting correctly, and it looks like it is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in to, let's see, insert edge loop, option box, multiple, and we'll do 5. Right there, and let's see if I did that in the right order. We're going to hit 4 for wireframe mode, close this guy down a bit, and what we're going to do here is we are going to, actually I've been a bit hasty there guys, we're going to hit Control Z to go back. I need to model this first. All right, so I'm going to right click on a vertex, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to bring these in. So I'm going to hit W, and I'm going to bring that in to about here. And this will make sense once we're where we need to be. Now this is my end goal. Let's say that this is my end goal somewhere around here. So we're going to start to create kind of a flow that will go from there to there. Let's see here. probably have to move it around a bit until I'm satisfied with what we have. Okay, it's not too bad. We'll tweak this a bit more. All right, so that's that. Okay, then let's see, what we want is to have some thickness over here, but first what we're going to do, right click object mode, we're going to hit Control E to extrude, do 0.01 on the thickness, then we're going to right click, go to object mode, we're going to tweak it a little bit, so I'm going to go to insert edge loop, and there we go. And with that said, I can now go in, hit Q on my keyboard, and what we're going to do is we're going to double click on these edges, and we're going to hit R, and we're going to flare them out just slightly, and let's see if that gives us the effect that we want. Then we're going to right click at object mode, we're going to go to mesh and smooth, and then we're going to take the whole thing, hit R, and scale it back in until we have a snug fit right there. Okay, so that looks all right. Then let's see, what we're going to do next is we are going to, let's make sure that that has an actual smooth, that's fine. What we're going to do next is we are going to create a plate on top, and for that what we'll do is we'll right click on the face, let's see, that's my center there. Just trying to see if that's going to work. I think it is. So we got that. We're going to do something similar over here. So we're going to go way down. Let's have a look. Yeah. And we're going to create something of a triangle. Like that. Okay. And I got some faces selected here that are not supposed to be selected, and it's always good to check that. Sometimes you think you're clicking, but in reality you are dragging. So I'm going to hit 4 for wireframe mode just to do another check. It looks like we only have what we need, except for this guy right there. Hit 5 on our keyboard, and we're going to hit Control E to extrude. And let's do 0.01, maybe a bit more. 0.02. All right, now that looks nice. Then we're going to right click on object mode, we're going to go to mesh and smooth once again, which gives us that shape, which is nice. And let's just hit Control Z to go back. Because I want to make sure that we have a nice crisp line there. So we're going to go to Insert Edge Loop. I'm going to go to Single Setting, and then I'm going to select this guy, and I'm going to go in and push one up to the top there, one down there. We'll do, actually we'll not do that one, that's fine. And then same here, one up there and one down there. Q on our keyboard, right click object mode, 3 to preview smooth. Yeah, nice. Okay, so I want to go back. We're going to go to mesh and smooth to actually smooth. Cool. So now that we have that, let's see what we're going to deal with next. Is we are going to have a connection point to clip this onto the top, and I'm just thinking about how we're going to construct this. What we'll do is we will take a few bolts. For that, we'll take a Polygon Cylinder. We can hit R to scale it way down. Have to zoom in. We're going to go in and we're going to do 8. Looks good. We're going to bring that way down. And then we're going to hit W to move that up. From our top view, F to zoom in. Let's bring that in here. Hit R to scale it down some more. F to zoom in, and let's see what we got. Okay, we're going to hit W, we're going to bring that down, and we're going to have that cut into our geometry just a bit. So we're going to pull that up like so, which is okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control D to duplicate that, hit W, pull that up, and hit R and push that in like so. Just so we have some space there. Okay. Then we're going to select these two guys. We're going to go to Mesh and Combine, Modify Center Pivot. We're going to hit Control D to duplicate, push that down, F to zoom in, E to rotate, hold down J and snap it around, and hit W and move that up. All right, so now that we have that, and we can actually, just for decor, take this, go to Mesh and Separate, take the bottom piece, Control D to duplicate, Modify Center Pivot, move over a copy. Let's see how far we move that over. So we got one at, let's say, minus 0.2, and then we'll hit Control D again. Let's try that again. Control D to duplicate, 0.2. So we've got the same distance, which is good. Let's position them correctly. So this guy, we're going to hit E, we're going to rotate that, hit W, push down. This one, E, rotate, W, push down, and there we go. So we got all that. Now we need a couple at this end down here as well. So we're just going to borrow this guy, hit Control D to duplicate it. Let's bring that over, and let's bring that down. F to zoom in, E to rotate, hold down J, so we're at 90 degrees. Now I want a couple of these on this area here too. So I'm just gonna view that from a few angles here. For wireframe mode, you can see that we need to come in. Let's see where we want these. I'll do one here, and then Control D to duplicate. We'll do one down here. Now let's have a look. I have to zoom in. Let's close that out. All right. So we're going to hit E to rotate that in the correct angle, hit W to pull that out. So we have a clean fit. We're going to go up to this guy, E to rotate, W to bring in. All right. So now that we have that, we need to have an axle in here as well. And for that, we'll take another Polygon Cylinder, hit W, move that out. Let's go to our attribute editor. Let's do 8 subdivisions on that guy. And then we're gonna hit R and we're gonna scale it way, way down. F to zoom in, E to rotate, hold down J. We're going to hit W, we're going to bring that in, and then from this view, no, not from that view, from this view, we're going to bring that in here to the center of this area here. That should be about it. I have to zoom in. We're going to push that in here, and then we're going to right click and go to Vertex, drag select and pull that out for now, and we'll see to what extent we need that to be more, if you will. Okay, now we're gonna borrow this guy again, so we're gonna select it, Control D to duplicate, we're gonna hit W and move that back here, E to rotate, and let's rotate it to 90 degrees, and then from our top view, that one needs to be scaled up a bit. So hit R. We're going to move this guy to a point where we're going to have a kind of a hinge for our goggles. So let's have a look here. We're going to go to modify center pivot. Let's hold down. Actually, let's see. This looks about right. Let's hit R to scale that in and then stretch that out. That should be about right, but we'll see how right that is when we get to it. Okay? So now for the tricky part. What we need to do is we need to create hinges from the top here to down there and from here to up there. Okay? So what we're going to do first is we're going to approach it from our top view. And what we'll do there is we will go to create CV curve tool. Let's see, where is it at? Curve tools, CV curve tool. So we're moving from this guy in the middle, right there. So that's going to be our first click towards, and I'm going to try to create a fairly decent flow, and hopefully, I mean, we can change it once we get there, but so that is okay. Problem now is we need to hit W to move that up, F to zoom in. I want that to be at the right height there. So that's exactly in the middle, which is perfect. and now we're going to start to bring down these vertices. So we're going to hit Control Vertex, and we're going to take these three, and that's going to be somewhere around here. So I'm just going to start to create a flow between these two. That doesn't look too bad. And there we go. Let's make sure we're not hitting anything. And this guy needs to go down a bit, as well as this guy. And with that said, we should be good. Okay. So now that we have that, we need to do something here. What we're going to do is we're going to take a polygon cube, we're going to pull that up, we're going to pull that back, right click at a face, drag, select all of these faces, hit delete. We're going to go to this guy in object mode, we're going to hit R, push that way in, like so. Go to modify and center pivot. We're going to hit W, we're going to bring that down, and then we're going to bring that towards the start of our curve. Okay, so it's still quite large, so we're going to hit R, we're going to scale it down some more. And let's just see where I'm at from this view. So we're going to bring that in. Let's bring that down. F to zoom in. I'm going to make sure that that fits in that opening there. And there you have it. Then from a distance point of view, let's push that back. Hit F to zoom in. Okay. So this guy needs to move a bit. Okay, I'm going to right click at a face. Hopefully you can see it. I'm going to shift select my curve. And I'm going to hit Control E to extrude. Then I'm going to drag the divisions and bump them way up. Let's do 40. And that looks okay. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay. So that's that. We're going to right click at object mode. And we're going to go to Edit, Delete by Type, and History, which will allow me to select that curve. Let's go into our outliner so I can get my curve right there and delete it. And before I smooth this out, I need to extend it a little bit from this end. So I'm going to right click at a face, Control E to extrude, W to move. There you go. And then we're going to have a look down here as well. So I'm going to take this guy in object mode, Control H to hide. I'm going to right click at a face, Control E to extrude, W to pull out. And we're going to go back to display, show, and all. So we got this guy. All right. So let's bring that back in to about there. Then I'm going to right click on object mode and hit 3 to preview smooth. And let's see how that looks. Okay, that's not bad. Hit 1 to go back. We're going to go into insert edge loop option box multiple, and we'll do 2. We'll add 2 right there. Hit R to, oops. Hang on. Let's try that again. And there we go. And then hit R. Why is that happening? Oh, because my pivot is way off. Okay. Right, fine. We're gonna go to object mode. We're gonna do preview smooth again, which gives us a little bit better shape there. So that's good, and that is good. All right. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this guy, and we're gonna go up to edit, duplicate special option box. I want an instance, and I want this on, let's see, hopefully I'm going to do this right, -1 on Y. We'll find out soon enough. Nope. Nope. It's not right. Hang on, guys. First, I'm going to move my pivot point for this guy. So I'm going to switch fuse. I'm going to hit the insert key, and I'm going to move my pivot point down here. I have to zoom in. This is a bit tricky because it's not level, but that should be a big help. And then we are going to switch to this view and move it back there. So now if I go to edit duplicate special option box, and I'm -1 scale on Y, duplicate special, there we go. So hopefully this is correct. So we're going to hit W to move that down. And it's important to have a fit from this end. So we're going to look at it from our front view here. And we'll need to adjust this guy in a sec, but that's fine. Okay, that looks very, very close to being a good fit. Actually, it's spot on. Okay. So we're going to take this guy and we're going to level it between these two. So we're going to right click at a vertex, we're going to drag like that, and let's do this. Okay. So that is that, which is good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take let's see, we're going to take a polygon sphere, and I'm just trying to figure out what's what. We're going to hit R, we're going to scale that down, we're going to hit W, move that over, and I want that to be on top of this guy here. Okay, so we're going to switch to our top view. Let's bring that in. Have to zoom in, have to zoom in again, hold down X, oops, V, sorry, hold down V, snap it to the center here, and then just bring that in like so. And then from a height point of view, we're going to have it cut into geometry just a bit. Something like that. We're going to right click, go to face, drag, select, and delete it. We're going to right click at object mode, Control D to duplicate, E to rotate, hold down J to snap it. So let's flip that over like so, and then we're going to hit W and push that down. Have to zoom in, and there you have it. Okay, so just to add a little bit there. Okay, that looks all right. So we're getting closer. But keep in mind that a lot of this will be mirrored, so there's not a lot more to do. What we are going to do though is we are going to create some cogs, and for that what we'll do is we'll take a polygon pipe, and we need quite a lot of subdivision here, so let's do 80. Ooh, that's a lot. 60. That's still a lot, but that's okay. We're going to hit R. We're going to push that way down. We are going to set the thickness to 0.1, which looks about right. And then we're going to push this way in and make it very flat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click at a face and I'm going to select every other face. I'll pause the video while I do that and I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright guys, now that we have that, we're going to hit Control E to extrude. And let's see, we'll do 0.02, that's not enough. 0.04, maybe a bit more. 0.0, oops, 0.05. Yeah, that's about right. So we're gonna right click at object mode. Come on, right click, object mode. We're gonna hit E to rotate, hold down J to snap to 90 degrees. We're gonna hit R, we're gonna scale the whole thing down, hit W and move that in. And then from this view, we're going to hold down V and we're going to snap it to this guy and hold down R and scale it in to about there. We're going to hit W, we're going to move that out a bit. Let's say to about there, and then what we need to do is we need to find a way to connect this up. So let's see, what we can do here is a couple of ways we can do this. Just trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. We'll just take polygon cubes, okay? Not make it overcomplicated. We're going to hit R, we're going to scale that way down, stretch that up, push that in. W to move that in. We're going to switch views. We're going to hold down V and snap it to the center here. Then we're going to hold down R to scale it down. Let's close a bunch of these windows here, so we've got a bit more room to look. Right, we're going to make this very thin. We're going to right click our vertex, just this guy, right click vertex, take these two, hit W and bring that in like so. We'll take these two, same thing, and then we're gonna go to object mode. We're gonna Control D to duplicate. Let's hit E to rotate and hold down J, and then we're gonna hit Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, and Shift D. So we got all that stuff. And then we need to get them aligned so we can position them into our cog here. I think we got them all. Yeah, it looks like. We're going to hit W, we're going to move that forward. And then from our top view, hit F to zoom in. Okay. And then hit R to push that in so it's well within the dimensions of what we need. And then we're going to shift select this guy, not this. we're going to go to mesh and combine, modify and center pivot. So now we can hit 5 for shaded mode, and we can go in, hit Control D to duplicate, hit W, move that forward, hit R to scale that down, like so. And then we're just going to need an end piece. So we need to come up with something for our end piece. Maybe not. Just having a look here. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll select it and we'll go in to Insert Edge Loop, Option Box, Manual Setting, and I'll add one here and one here. Hit Q on our keyboard, right click face, select that face row and hit Control E to extrude, and then we'll decrease the thickness to, hang on, 0.1 to minus 0.1, which is better. Yeah, looks all right. Okay, so now that we have all that, it's time, I think, to copy this guy over. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to right click at object mode. We're going to select everything. Let's go to Control G to group it, and then we're going to go to Edit, Duplicate Special, Option Box. Let's see, that is, and again, hopefully I do it right. That will be -1 here, I hope. And it looks like we are good. We're going to W, we're going to move that over. So we now need to find the correct distance between the two, because we do need to add some detail, obviously. So that would be about right, in my opinion. Okay. So we have that. That looks all right. Now what we need to do next is we need to create that connection piece in the middle here, which is kind of tricky. So for that, we're going to move to this view here, and we're going to go to, actually let's save this out for a sec, hang on. Right, so that's saved out. We're going to go into, let's delete the history on this actually. Edit, delete by type, history. Okay, so we're going to go to create. We're going to go to CV curve tool once again. There it is. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to start around this line here. Let's say somewhere down here, and we're going to need to adjust it manually a bit. But let's see, we'll go up to about here, then we're going to start to go up. And like I said, we need to adjust this. That's not too bad. We're going to hit enter. We are going to go to right click Control Vertex. And let's just tweak this shape a bit. That's not too bad. Looks fairly symmetrical. So let's see, this can go in a bit. I'll just bring that in a bit. All right, So I'm happy with it. After all, it's steampunk, which means that it's probably fabricated by hand for the most part. So I'm okay with this guy. Let's see if we need to move it in a bit. Right click object mode. We're going to go to modify and center pivot. Let's bring that in to about there, I guess. It's not cutting into anything. All right. So that's good. So what we're going to do next is we are going to create another cube. All right. We're going to make that very small, obviously. Let's stretch that out a bit. And I'm going to go in, right click on the face, and I'm going to start to remove the faces that I don't need. So we just have this guy left. Then we're going to hit W, we're going to move that in. From our top view, hit F to zoom in. We can see where our curve is at. So we're going to be somewhere around there. F to zoom in. We're going to hit R to push that in like so. Maybe you make it a bit wider. And then what we're going to do first is make sure that we're at the start of our curve here. And we're going to need to rotate it a little bit. Hang on. Modify center pivot. Rotate it a bit. So it's facing from a correct angle. That looks to be all right. So we got that. We're going to see if the width is okay, which is kind of hard to see from here, but we're going to select all of it and we're going to move the whole thing to about there. And then we're going to take this guy, hit R, push that back in a little. Okay. I'm going to hit F to zoom in. I'm going to right click on the face, select that face, shift select this guy, Control E to extrude. Let's do 50 subdivisions. And we're actually going to need a bit more than that. So let's do 70 subdivisions, which should be okay. All right. And then we're going to right click on object mode. We're going to hit 3 to preview smooth. And that is not bad. Okay, let's add some edge loop here. Want to go back, insert edge loop option box, single setting. So we're going to go in and add one right there and one right there. Q on our keyboard, right click object mode, 3 to preview smooth. Now that is not bad at all. Not quite there yet. Hit 1 to go back. Now we're going to go in and we're going to start to tweak this a little bit. Okay. Get rid of that camera for a sec. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click and go to object mode. With this guy, we're going to go to edit, delete by type, history. Now we can go to Windows and Outliner and take our curve and get rid of it. And then we're going to go into this guy. We're going to right click on vertex and we're going to start to take these vertices, which is kind of tricky considering the amount. And I don't want these, or do I? Hang on. no, I'm gonna have to do this manually. So I'm gonna bring these guys in. No, we're not gonna do it that way. We're gonna do it in a different way. We are going to, yeah, slightly different approach, guys. Sorry. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take, let's take a sphere. The reason why I'm doing it this way is I have a certain model in mind of a fairly popular steampunk goggle, but obviously I don't have to follow that exactly, so I'm not. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go in from the top, have to zoom in, right click face, drag, select half of that, delete it, take this guy, R to scale it down, W to move it over here, and then from this view we're just going to move that up and scale it down some more, F to zoom in, E to rotate, and let's make sure that this thing is a good fit. So we're just going to go to modify center pivot. Slightly better fit, yeah. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to hit W, and I'm going to move that in here. Control D to duplicate. Move that over, hit E to rotate, hold down J. And we're going to try to get them roughly at the same height. So Control D again, pull that up, F to zoom in, W to push that in this corner, E to rotate, and W to move in, and then Control D to duplicate again, F to zoom in, E to rotate, okay, let's have a look and see what we got. Okay, not bad. That's actually good. Yeah. So let's see. We are going to, yeah. This is good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a leather strap that's going to go around the back here to, well, I wouldn't say complete our goggles, but we're getting very, very close to our finish line here. So what we need to do there is go to our top view. We're going to close this out. And this is going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to go to create curve tool, CV curve tool once again. And we're going to zoom in. We're going to start somewhere around here. We're going to start to click. We're going to go around this guy. And then I'm just going to zoom out a bit. And let's see, we don't want this to be too straight. So we're going to zoom in. Okay, we're going to click a few times down here. And there you go. All right. So now that we have that, we're going to create our belt here. So again, polygon cube, pull that out. We're going to right click at a face, select, let's see, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Right click at object mode, go to modify and center pivot. We're going to hit R, we're going to bring that way down, hit W, move that out and over, close to where we need to be. Have to zoom in. I want this to be narrow, so something like that. And then height wise, I need to make sure that this belt is high enough, but I need to compare it to that rod here. So let's see. Obviously it's going to need to fit in between these two, so this looks like a correct height. Yeah, and it looks like I'm at the beginning of my curve here. Maybe just move it forward just a little. So I'm going to right click at a face, select that face, select my curve and hit Control E, and then we're going to crank up the subdivisions big time. Okay, let's do 200, which is not bad. Let's have a good look here. That looks all right. That looks all right. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to right click at object mode. I'm going to go to edit and delete by type and history. So now I can go into Windows, outliner, delete the curve I got here, and my strap will still be okay. I'm going to hit 3 to preview smooth it. Let's see how that looks. Looks actually nice. Yeah, it looks actually very nice. So, oh, sorry about that. So I'm going to go to mesh and smooth to actually smooth. And then we're going to need to create some elements that will hold the strap together. Okay. So what I'll do there is I'll take a polygon sphere. I'm going to push that back, hit E to rotate it, and hold down J while I do that. I'm going to right click, go to face. For my top view, I'm going to right click at a face, drag select half, and delete that. And then I'm going to right click at a vertex, take these, hit R, pull them in like so. And then I'm going to take this, move that over here, hit R to scale that down very much. F to zoom in, W to move in. So I want to have a couple of these, I don't know what they're called, brass thingies that will hold this in place. So hit F to zoom in. We're going to hit E to rotate, and then we're going to hit R and double click on this guy, change to object mode, because I want this to be kind of squished. Okay, hit W, bring that in like so. So that's one. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate. I have to zoom in. Let's rotate this guy a little bit, and W to push in. Okay. Now I'm going to want to use those at the other end as well. So Control D to duplicate. Move that over. F to zoom in. E to rotate. And W to move in. And that one we'll bring down a little bit, and then we'll do Control D to duplicate, hit E, W to move in. Let's see how that looks. Okay, now for the other end, we need to have, let's do this guy. We're gonna hit E to rotate, hold down J to snap as before, W to move out. We're gonna hit R, we're gonna push that in, make it nice and flat. We're gonna hit 3 to preview smooth. Looks good. So we're gonna go to mesh and smooth to actually smooth. And then we're gonna hit W and we're gonna move that into place as the counterpiece for that buckle. Or it's not a buckle, it's whatever that thing is called, okay? So we're gonna scale that down, move that in, F to zoom in, E to rotate a bit, R to scale down some more, and W to move into place, Control D to duplicate, F to zoom in, E to rotate, Control D again because I need them at the other end, F to zoom in. As you can see, we got a little bit of a gap here, Control D to duplicate, and if you are worried about that because you're afraid that we're going to see that opening when it's done, what we'll simply do is we'll take a Polygon Cylinder and we'll hit E to rotate it, hold down J to snap it, like so. Hit R to scale it down a lot. Go back to our top view, F to zoom in. Hit W, bring that over here, F to zoom in again, R to scale down and out. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this in here and Control D, and we'll do one here as well, just in case we're seeing that, okay? Now let's check the height to make sure that the height is okay. It seems to be, but let's check anyway. Okay, so when you look in between, you see those little rods there. That's exactly what we want, okay? All right, so we're gonna take one of these right there. We're gonna hit Control D to duplicate, W to move over, F to zoom in, and then we're gonna hit Control D, and we'll do one over here as well. Okay. Alrighty. Well guys, as far as I'm concerned, this completes the modeling stages for our goggles, and that said, let's jump into the texturing part of things. Okay, here we go.